Hello and welcome to another video. So today it is Thursday the 11th and it's 2 weeks to Christmas. So yeah, I want to talk about tribalism and basically the whole thing about it basically being divide and conquer. So it's one of the mechanisms of divide and conquer. So you've got the whole system of control, and this is one element of the control basically. So it's not direct control, but it's basically sort of like manipulating you into being controlled. Because how it works is basically they set up all these different systems, because it's not just one system, there's very many systems. I know, like, you've got the standard systems like the education system, the banking system, but it goes much deeper than that. So divide and conquer. So how they achieve that is basically by basically making dividing people. So you can do it in many ways. You can do it by race, religion, politics, sports, and pro and against, anti and pro. So you can have pro-European, or I can't even say pro-European because the EU is a political union, it's not Europe as such. It's just basically a collection of politicians working together, and basically it's like a regional, superpower, isn't it? But not a superpower like America. But anyway, so basically tribalism, you see it in politics especially like even more so in football. So in politics you have the red team, you have the blue team, you'll have in the States you'll have the Democrat supporters and the Republican supporters, and you all slag each other off. They all say my party's better than your party, and you argue against each other, and then you'll like lose friends. You'll disassociate yourself with certain people because they support that party, and you get your left wing, right wing ideologies, and people who support either party, and they're just always like fighting online, in person, attacking each other, not physically, but sometimes that can happen, but mostly verbally. And in sports especially as well, because you get this team supports City, and this group of people support City, this group of people support United. So you got blue, red, or you got in Glasgow, you got Glasgow Rangers. So they'll be like, oh, we support the Loyalists, we support United Kingdom and the Queen. And then you get Celtic fans, they support a Republican Party, there'll be Republicans, they support a United Ireland. Even though it's a Scottish team, but it has Irish roots, very Irish roots, because a lot of Irish immigration into Scotland before, and they've settled in these communities. But it's crazy because they're so similar and there's so much in common. They're both Celtic nations, Scotland and Ireland. And you just allow all this crap to get into their heads, and basically they fight against each other. And it gets quite sinister as well, because it's not just like a bit of banter. They actually go really into depth with this division, and they hate each other's guts. And it's like you can get beaten up or attacked for wearing the wrong football shirt in the wrong area. It's just mad. I think the best example is Liverpool, because they don't seem to have too much trouble between Liverpool fans and Everton. They're more united, but I've seen it in other areas. Where like you go abroad, and I think in Italy it's really bad if it's Inter Milan and AC Milan, or on the other team. I think it's Rome might be the worst example. Is it Roma and Lazio, both Roman teams, but they have bad blood against each other. And in Argentina, I can't remember, it's Boca Juniors and Silver Plate. But yeah, basically it's just another element of control, isn't it? Because you keep dividing people, it makes them much easier to control. So politics is a big one, I had this because I supported Brexit, and I do like European nations. I do like European people. I think there's a lot of good quality, got good quality people, and a lot of history. But what I didn't like, because the reason I was against it, is because I didn't like basically the immigration into the country. There was a lot of Polish immigration, and I like the Polish, don't get me wrong. I won't say a bad word about them individually. I like they stand up for different things, and they're quite protective of their nationality and their country. But when you get areas in the UK and it's just like you walk around and you can only hear Polish, that's the thing I don't like. Because it's on such a mass scale. But no, I wouldn't say anything bad about Polish people, and I would like to visit Poland and go on holiday there. But yeah, it's just that was the main reason, and it weren't mostly their fault. I think the bigger draw for me was basically the illegal immigration, because Merkel in Germany, she welcomed all these immigrants, and then Sweden had a big influx. And it's like, you know, these countries in Europe, and like this country, it's if this is your home, you want to protect what it is, and you protect the standards and protect your jobs and protect your wealth. Because if you've got an influx of so many people, then the quality of your life is going to go downhill. And there's this notion that people say, oh, you need to build more houses. They're not going to build more houses. You've got to stop being naive. You've got to stop all this belief in the system. The system is basically screwing everyone. That's why people are always poor and they never get better. And you can work your ass off. You can work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, but you'll just get taxed more. So it's really hard to break out of it. And the rich, the super rich, has got so many mechanisms where they can stay rich and get richer, but you'll never catch them because you're not in that club. And then you already got a default because you started off badly. Every day they're making millions, and like you might like loads of overtime. You might make a £500 more a month or £1,000 if you're lucky, but then the government just come in and take 20% of that anyway, and then your national insurance goes up. So what I mean is not your national insurance goes up in the rate, but they take more money off you out your wages because you earn more, so you're gonna have to pay more. But yeah, it's quite nice coming out today. I'd come out now because it's just after 2 o'clock, because otherwise it gets too dark and then you can't see this lovely countryside. I mean, I'm not right out in the sticks, but it's like still a nice area out of town. So yeah, that is one of the mechanisms they use going back to divide and conquer. Because if you can separate people and divide them, then it's easier to control, isn't it? It's like with the countries, it's like if you control one big country, you've got so many people, but if you break them down into smaller countries, so take the example of Yugoslavia. You had one country and then you split it up. So you've got Kosovo, Albania, Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, Bosnia. And like you could just get in a corrupt prime minister, president, control each country, and they're easier to buy off. And it's easier to enforce things, because it's like here in the UK, they always like to use Scotland or Northern Ireland first, because Northern Ireland pushes through a lot of agendas, because it's a country of, it's not really a country, I would say, sorry if I upset anyone, but I see it as a province really. In Ireland it's 6 counties, so yeah, I'm not going to go into that today. I am for a united Ireland, but I don't also want the people of Ulster, whether they're loyalists or Republicans, to live in peace, no harm to each other, and live their lives. But yeah, just saying, because yeah, I don't know if anybody gets touchy over that. Some will. But yeah, going back to the main point I was making, yeah, because I've been there and I've seen electric buses. I was there quite early, and then they pushed the COVID harder there. And then in Scotland, they pushed the COVID harder. Scotland passed through quite a few things already. I think they had the online safety bill before England and Wales had it. And Northern Ireland as well has pushed through a lot of green agendas. And then Wales is another one, because Wales is only like, is it 2.5 million people? Oh no, sorry, 3.5 million. That's South Wales, isn't it? So 3.5 million people, or 3.5 million. So they push through all the agendas in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, and then it'd be England's turn. And then when they do it at the cities, they like to push through the agenda in London first, and then they roll it out to other UK cities. So London was the first with the congestion charge, and then they roll out everything else. So if they can manage to control the roads in London, then they'll start rolling it out to control the other roads in other parts of the country, in other cities. Yeah, and another thing, the local mayor elections has been postponed for 4 years. So this is what they've done in Bristol. They had a mayoral election in 2021, but they postponed it so by another year. But yeah, it's just what they do to stay in power. So corrupt, the whole system. That's why I don't vote anymore. And that's another thing, I don't want to play that tribalism crap, because you're seeing it all the time. Like, I keep seeing reform come up, and that's another one, isn't it? You get in one group of people saying, oh, they're right wing, or they're left wing. Let's go back. And then they like fight against each other, and they're saying, oh, the Brexit party is the Nazi party, and then Labour are supposed to be the good souls, the good people. But it's all bollocks. It's all there to basically to make you have a belief in the system, to trust authority. And they do some of the good things, like with the Brexit party. They might have got the UK outside the EU, but really it's not really outside the EU, is it? Because it's still connected with Northern Ireland, because they follow a few aspects of the European Union regulations. And then Gibraltar is another one. They're following aspects of the EU regulations, so it's not truly free from it. And then Keir Starlin is going to bring us back into it bit by bit, and they can change the name or whatever policy, whatever in alignment, but we're still sort of connected to it because they want a one world government. So yeah, to achieve this ultimate control, because it's not just technocracy, basically controlling everybody from technology with the AI systems and the facial recognitions and the iris scanners and the digital IDs and the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, but it's also by dividing people, because you break the people down, get them to scrap against each other, sucks up all their time, sucks up all their energy. They're too busy fighting each other rather than uniting to fight against the whole thing, the whole system. So it's only when people feed this system allows this system to continue and prosper. And it got me thinking as well, like the last couple of days I watched something about Saturn. So that's, I believe, who could be behind everything. He was worshipped in Greece as Kronos and in Rome. And then there's so much stuff which is connected to Saturn, and so many use the symbol, the square, the cube, shall I say. And I was even thinking, if Saturn is the god of time, does it mean things are going the wrong way? Because time seems to be speeding up. And is that because Saturn's getting more powerful? I'd like to think not, or I'd hope not anyway, but who knows. But yeah, let's touch on a few other things. So Australia is going to ban all under 16s from using social media. So all under 16s won't be able to access their social media accounts. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's like good if it stops kids, teenagers going online to get bullied, and basically stops them from seeing pornography and stuff like that. But all the sexual influences, and I'm not sure about pornography, because that's not so much social media, but then if they roll it out to other areas, it's another element of control though, isn't it? Because like once they do it, they roll it out to other areas, so they might say, oh, you can't access this unless you got this, you got that. Your digital ID again comes in, doesn't it? So you need that to access these sites, and first of all they do the age verification like they have in the UK, and then other countries will follow suit. Yeah, and also just going back to digital IDs again, the EU by the end of next year is going to make it available for every EU citizen. So anybody who lives in the EU with EU, like a European citizenship in any country in the EU, will be able to have a digital wallet. So a digital ID wallet. So yeah, it's more dystopia. And what else? Okay, the UK government this year passed secondary legislation on the 25th of June this year to basically to report on crypto transactions, and basically report everything in crypto based in the UK, so any exchange in the UK basically will have to share information to HMRC. So this legislation was passed, and it starts on the 1st of January next year, 2026. So they're going to share all your details, and I think it shares your phone number, your address, and everything on the crypto exchange, all your transactions, so they can try and claw more money out of you. You can combat this by having your crypto in an exchange outside the UK but doesn't follow UK regulation. You can have your crypto on a decentralized exchange. And also the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, who basically regulates all the banks, is in part regulating the crypto, probably eventually, if it's not already officially, regulating all the UK crypto as well. But yeah, what they're going to be doing is prioritising UK based stablecoins. So there'll be a digital pound, not a central bank digital currency, but it will be the bridge to one, because it's basically the same as in America, isn't it, where they've, instead of the Federal Reserve issuing the stablecoins, it'll be the US banks. And that's how they bridge the gap from the cash to the digital crypto, and then to the central bank digital currency, the CBDCs. So they've got to put all these bridges in places first to connect it all up. They're also building the new payment system. Is it iOS 2022? So basically they want to put everything onto ledgers, so it records everything, all the crypto transactions and central bank digital currencies. I'm not an expert in this, something that's a bit complex, but basically they are putting everything in place to build this system. So eventually there'll be no cash if they get their way. Everything can be tracked and traced. I can start heading back this way. Yeah, everything will be tracked and traced and monitored. And the thing with this central bank digital currency, they can program the money, so they can stop you using it, and they can freeze it. So yeah, and they could just go into your account and take it out. eventually, once it's all completely centralised, unless you do the decentralised mechanisms. So yeah, what else in the UK? Oh yeah, a hospital in Boston, in Lincolnshire. So Boston Pilgrim Hospital spent 23 million on a heating system. How crazy is that? How much money just for one hospital? It's just madness. It just shows you the level of corruption, and I'd say it's like not exactly defined as money laundering, but it's very close. It's got to be, isn't it? Spending all that money on a heating system. I mean, how can it cost that much? Wouldn't $1 million be enough? It's just madness. It's like all these big projects, they always go over the budget, they always take more and more money, and you think these contracts would be signed tight, so if anything went wrong, it'd be down to the contractor to cover the costs. Because you agree on a job, you're the customer and you say, can you paint my house? And he says, yeah, I'll do it for you for £500, and you agree on that price. Okay, so it doesn't matter if that's a good price or a bad price. I was just setting an example. And then if the contractor says my costs have gone up, like the paint's got more expensive, you could say like, okay, I'll give you a bit more, but I can't do much more. I can give you another £50, yeah? The painter wouldn't turn around and say like, oh, I need you to give me another 500 or another 1,000, because customers just say like, no, it's too much, I'm not doing it. So it just doesn't add up. And this is the reason why I don't want to give these people any of my energy, and I don't want to support this political system, because they're all con artists. It's like you got reform, and you know, like they say all these things about immigration and against like they're against wearing a burqa, and then you'll get Farage, you keep backtracking on all the things he said, and then Richard Tice will backtrack on what he said as well. And Tice is another one, he's just a rich boy, and they're not there, like why are they there? They got money anyway, so they're there to basically bring policies in to direct people in a certain direction, get them to trust them, and then they implement everything in installments. So they're bringing the agenda bit by bit. Same with Trump, he would be like, oh, make America great again, and he'd be harsh on immigrants from different countries, but he won't say nothing about Israel or Israelis, you know. And he'd say about war in the Middle East, and here carry out all this foreign policy, which is not American policy. They've got no reason to be in the Middle East, you know, they've got no issues there, but they're just doing Israel's bidding to help with the Greater Israel project. But yeah, these parasites, they think they are the authority, and I think that goes back to what Saturn is about authority. So we as individuals, people, we don't have to give this authority, because that's when it breaks down, when we're not supporting these systems, and we're not getting tribal, and we're not playing this game. This is where they lose their power. Because I don't do the football anymore. I mean, I can still memorise a lot of stadiums, a lot of names and nicknames and colours, what the teams wear, but I lost interest in it, because I don't like wasting my time. I don't want to spend 2 hours, 3 hours for a start watching a game. And there's all the wokeness as well. It's like these football players getting on their knees. It's like, if people keep supporting them, they're going to keep doing it. And the same with all the money they get paid. They're getting paid millions for kicking a leather ball around. It's just mad. And they're acting like gods. They're not gods. They're just like, it's just overpaid people, and they're getting all this attention. And it's like, if you look at these people and you think they're gods, and the same with celebrities, if you think they're gods, it's like, it shows you like you've got an empty life, Because basically you look at yourself like you're nothing, but you're thinking these people are superior and fantastic. It's like, you don't have to be famous to be someone. You don't have to be a sports personality to have meaning in your life. You know, there's loads of great people, just because they're not famous doesn't mean they're not great. So yeah, this whole notion that you have to be one of them to be something is a load of bullshit. But a lot of them are just like normal people, but they just had maybe a lucky break, or someone's fixed it for them to be there. Because like most of the politicians are only there because they allowed them to be there, because otherwise they wouldn't get there easily. Higher, because they always get in these positions of power because they want them to be there. It's like with Boris Johnson. There's like a 6-hour meeting between Freemasons, high up Freemasons, and basically they selected him to be the next Prime Minister. And people think his votes matter. It's just, you think they actually count the votes and they're like, oh, we're going to listen to the people? Because you see it all the time. You see the councils ignore the people, the politicians ignore the people. You know, they promise to get in. They promise when they're getting in to make changes, but when they get in, they don't deliver. They just say anything to get in. So, yeah, we don't want to play these divide and conquer games, and that's the thing. If you don't get involved in it, you're not sharing your energy with them. So yeah, I'll leave that there. Quick video today. So yeah, don't play their games, don't support their systems, support your system, support your friend's system, support your family system. You know, if you're struggling, cut things out in your life. I mean, move away, move to a different area, move to a different country. You don't have to keep putting up with this. And that's the thing in the UK. I think, like, if I stay here, is it just going to suck all my energy? Because say stay and fight, but it's like, what am I fighting for? Like, unless things majorly change, like, what is the point? I'm not being defeatist, but I think, what is the point if so many people, even the ones I think have got potential, I think you're still getting people going to London following Tommy Robinson, and it's like, he supports Israel. And I'm not getting to the Palestine-Israel stuff, but I'm just saying, Israel is like, most of the problems come from, you know, the Rothschilds' country, you know, the country set up by the Rothschilds, you know, the city of London, Rothschilds, you know, the family that moved from Frankfurt, Germany, and they're behind most of the wars in the last few hundred years. They paid for the Napoleon side of the war, and they paid for the English British Navy to fight Napoleon, and then they made loads of money on the outcome of that, and then they paid for both sides of World War One, World War Two. You know, it's like all these people going about people who run away and don't want to be conscripted. It's like, why would you want to fight for central bankers? Why would you want to kill yourself? You're not fighting for your country. That's what people don't realise. You're never fighting for your country. In Germany in World War II, they didn't bomb mostly German military bases, they bombed normal people. Like Churchill killed loads of normal German people. You know, all these leaders who are supposed to be the enemy, they don't never kill them, they never bomb them, they just bomb civilians. And it's not just the Middle East, it's like Germany here, so many countries, they would bomb civilians, they won't bomb the military targets. And at so many wars they could have took these people out, but they don't, they just attack normal people. It's like, you think Putin, if you want to take Zelensky out, you could take him out, you know, but you got to go through all this theatre, all this pretend and nonsense. You know, Russia's much more powerful than the Ukraine. They defeated the the German soldiers, when he entered into Russia, 500,000 died. You know, they've never been conquered from another country, from what I can remember. But yeah, people still play this game. They still think they're all enemies and they're all individual countries, but they're all controlled. They're all in the United Nations. They're all in all the organisations. They're all sharing the Atlantic, because they've got an Atlantic treaty. So Russia and America share the Antarctic treaty with other countries, and there's no conflict there. They go on space missions together. So are they really enemies? So yeah, just be careful what you believe. Don't believe the mainstream, because that's another control system. That's why they call TV, like, it shows programs, because they're programming you, and then they channel the magic through the TV into your brain, and then they're broadcasting spells. And you just think about it, it's simplistic words, but that's how simplistic what they're doing to you. That's why the TVs are so cheap, because part of their control mechanism. And before the TV is radio. It's always been to control people, because the radio had broadcasts as well. They're broadcasting their spell of propaganda to get you to support the war effort, to get you to sign up and fight a war which has nothing to do with you, and sacrifice your life, so you can celebrate your sacrifice and achieve more control, more division, and more fortunes. But anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.